What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with another Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 Skalgrim Mod ship spotlight. So continuing our look at the new ships added for the Necrons in the mod, and having taken a look at the Anubis and the Throne of the Silent King previously, we are now moving on to the next big Titan, and though it says battleship, it is definitely a Titan, the AZA'GOROD. Named after the Nightbringer, I assume that it is powered by a Necron or a Catan shard, a shard of the Nightbringer specifically. Now, this ship, and I think it necessitates a comparison towards with the other two big boy Titans that the Necrons field. This ship is very, very different from the other two. Its battlefield role is not really comparable. The Anubis and the Throne of the Silent King, at the very least, are somewhat comparable to each other in the sense that they're both extremely tanky, and they both are a little bit jack of all trades in that they have a lot of close range and long range weaponry, and that they both have a lot of launch bays that they can use to take care of themselves, and thus don't really need any kind of support fleet. They are also both immune to criticals and they shall know no fear. So they're tanky, they're jack of all trades, and they're extremely dangerous. The AZA'GOROD is no less dangerous, but for its 980 cost, which is pretty damn crazy, it is very, very fragile at only 8,000 hull points. The reason for this is because it's a sniper ship. The main thing that is unique about this ship and its battlefield role is that it's supposed to stay back. It's not really supposed to go into the thick of things. It's just supposed to devastate the enemy with its unique Void Beam weapon. It deals about, well, there's 18 of them, so that they hit for about 2,000-ish damage every 25 seconds, plus with the fairly high critical chances that they've got. So this thing does have an incredibly dangerous weapon. However, as I said, unlike the other two, it is not very tanky at all. I mean, just compare it, only 400 points less expensive than the Throne of the Silent King, but more than twice the amount of HP on the throne. So yeah, pretty damn huge difference. On top of that, while it is immune to criticals, it does not have and they shall know no fear, and therefore can technically be taken off the field and be forced to rout. It does, interestingly enough, have a spur, but I think that's just by virtue of the fact that it's a Titan that doesn't have the unyielding trait that the other two do. Wait. Oh, no. The Anubis also has a spur. It's only the Throne of the Silent King that has the unyielding trait. But anyway, the AZA'GOROD definitely has a spur, so it can get the increased ram damage. But once again, you probably don't want to be risking it. If you're fighting something that can do a lot of damage at range with a lot of alpha, kind of like the AZA'GOROD itself, like if you're fighting a bunch of subjugators or omegas or really, you know, anybody who is similar to that, Luminors maybe, this thing can get ripped apart really, really quickly at range, and you really don't want that. So moving it closer when you're in range of these is probably not going to be a great idea. That said, in addition to the Void Beam, it does still have 30 Lightning Arc turrets. So if an enemy fleet does approach you, you can definitely dish out quite a bit of damage with those Lightning Arcs into a blob. In fact, because of the fact that I think it's because of the fact that it's so expensive and has so little HP, and I guess partially because of the Void Beam, it was able to actually get more Lightning Arc turrets on it than either of the two other Titans. So it does have a lot of potential for using dispersed Lightning Arc and hitting a blob like a Tyranid blob or something like that. But at that point, you are really, really risking your glass cannon. I guess that's what you're going to call this ship in general. It is very glass cannon-y, able to rip apart enemy fleets with its void beams, snipe them, but a glass cannon in the sense that it's going to itself get ripped apart by them if you put it into a dangerous situation. You gotta be careful with this ship. Other than that, it is reasonably fast for a Titan at 180, and that's still plus with the inertialess drives that these things have. So at 180, this thing can certainly move, and I think that's necessary for if you're using it to reposition and fire from the gas clouds and stuff like that. Speaking of gas clouds, it does not have the always identified trait. Well, I guess partly because it's a battleship, quote unquote, but even if it is a Titan, it can hide and it can snipe from clouds and asteroid fields, which is probably what you're going to be wanting to do with this thing, unless you're in a situation where you get surrounded and gotta employ those lightning arc turrets. Other than that, I think the only issue that this ship really does have is I feel like it probably could use an increased identification range. Granted, that's not something that Necron ships have in general. We can see every single battleship here has the 9,000 range, and so does every other ship with the exception of the Shroud, which is specialized. But just by virtue of the fact that the AZA'GOROD is a sniper, I feel like it probably could really use a little bit of extra identification range. Maybe it's meant to work with spotters, and this is why I've essentially created a fleet with some jackals and stuff instead of it by itself, but still, just my 2 cents on that. Speaking of these things, I did decide to bring 2 Sechems in its fleet, just because once again it does not have any of those launch bays like the Anubis and the Throne of the Silent King does. It needs a little bit of a support fleet, and in a standard 1200 point battle you can't afford a Scourge to bring with it, short just by 2 points unfortunately, so you need something to protect it from enemy ordnance, which in the case of the Sechems is a couple of relatively cheap Star Pulse generators. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the ship itself before we jump into some battles with it. Here we go. Now, I absolutely adore the look of this ship. It's amazing. I think being named the Nightbringer is just a very, very appropriate. Just by virtue of this is probably the most menacing, or one of the most menacing looking ships, by virtue of these claw things that it has up front in the entire game. It's a frightening ship. You see this thing moving towards you, you're probably gonna freak out a little bit. Gotta love this thing. Alrighty, and I also really like the way it looks with the Neferek dynasty, with the golden sort of claws like that. It's very nice. Alrighty, now once again I have complained about how this particular lighting works where you are looking at the Necron ship, so let's take a look at what the color schemes anyway. Ooh, wow, the Mefrit one. Oh wow, I love it. I didn't know the Mefrit one looked this cool. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna go with the Mefrit one on this one, and I do tend to like the Mefrit color scheme in general, but still. And this particular ship, it does look cool, even if it doesn't have a lot of that classic Necron green that we've got in the center here. I didn't do Mefrit last time, did I? I don't think so. Nah. Mefrit, alright, there's the Neferu, which we should all be probably used to. Neferek, this is the one we saw before with the gold. We've got the Nilak, or Nihilak. The light blue, not a huge fan of this one, just by virtue of, well, I'm not entirely sure why, actually. I just don't think it looks as good as the others on this particular ship, even though it does look very cool on some of the others. Novak, the red, always looks very nice. And let's keep moving. Sawtek actually looks pretty nice as well. It's like the Mefrit, but with the Necron green instead of the yellow, but the similar sort of hull, and just a sort of swap out of LEDs. Maybe we go with this one instead. I'm not sure. That doesn't really matter at the end of the day, obviously. Temerin looks, really, really similar to the Neferu. It's just a very slightly lighter hull than the Neferu there, and then the Thocht is also another pretty cool one. I always feel like the ones that are a different color scheme are cool, just by virtue of the fact that you damn well can't use them in the Necron campaign. Yeah, you know what, let's go with Sawtek for once, because I don't think I've used this particular one before. And I don't think there's anything else about that we have to talk about with regards to this particular fleet. I don't remember if I mentioned the troop efficiency. It is good troop efficiency, but that's exactly the same as the Throne of the Throne of the Silent King and the Anubis. And this is not a ship you really want boarding enemies anyway. You want to keep away, get as much damage with your void beams as you possibly can before you close the distance. Anyway, that's about it. Let's get to it. Let's try to pop it into some fights. save that. Did I say Sawtech? Let's go with Sawtech. And there we go. As for this stuff, now I don't believe the Nightmare Shroud is going to be all that useful for it. Just by virtue, I think the reload stance does not work on the void beams. I could be wrong though, but also it needs to be within identification range, and if this ship is in identification range, you're probably in a dangerous situation anyway. What we're going to do is we're going to take Canoptech Probe, and I originally thought that maybe a Stasis Bomb would be really nice here for the ship to be able to keep firing, but I think just in case, I want to try Inertialist Maneuver with this one. Maybe try some fancy jump behind the enemy fleet and then reorient a few times, just against several fleets if they manage to get close. And I do imagine that some of them, like Tyranids or Orcs or Space Marines, some of them will definitely be able to. Otherwise, I think we're going to bring the Structural Analyzer. I did say how many lightning arcs we have on this thing, and it will increase their critical chances by 200% against ships that are marked, which is another reason that we are going to be bringing some escorts. Other than that, it doesn't benefit from the arc propagator at all. Living metal substructure, swell if you're bringing a ton of escorts, but obviously that's not what we're doing in this particular case. I've already talked about Nightmare Shroud. Residual absorption we are definitely going to bring, because this thing is definitely going to be making use of gas clouds and asteroid fields, and may need hull cauterization to repair itself. And otherwise, what else do we have here? Shards of Nyaduzatha, again, you're probably not going to want to board. Unstable Pulse Core, not a good upgrade to pick up unless you have a fleet with a lot of cheaper ships that have a lot of Star Pulse generators, like a ton of Sechems, for example. Tesseract Crypt, nice, but not really necessary because you are immune to criticals, and you probably are too far, generally speaking, with this ship to get critted anyway, and then, or boarded and critted. And then Phase Shifter, what do you have here? Oh, right, that's just the asteroid thing. Yeah, we don't really care about that. It's not enough damage. Yeah, so we don't really care about the Tesseract Crypt and most of these upgrades. Interestingly enough, it's fairly light on the upgrades that you can choose for it. And here, obviously, Transdimensional Thunderbolt would be beneficial, but not really something we're going to be bringing just by virtue of the fact that this is a ship that wants to maintain this. And you know what? Fighting enemy Necrons, I like that. Necron on Necron. Yes. Yeah, well, what I was saying was Transdimensional Thunderbolt, great, pretty much always, but it's Spotlight. We don't want to be spotlighting the Transdimensional Thunderbolt. We want to shine it on the ships themselves. So, here we go. Alright, rendering took a little while there. It's not as dark in this color scheme. Interestingly enough, it makes it a little bit less menacing, but at least it's different. Yeah. In this particular lighting, I don't like this color scheme as much on it, but it's still a really cool looking ship. Alrighty, so, well, we have a gas cloud right here, and we may as well make use of it against the other Necrons. We're also going to have you guys run silent and basically protect it with your Star Pulse waves. You three are going to be needed to scan the enemy, so run silent and get ready. We'll try to keep some of you nearby as well. Alrighty, you go to the edge of this, please, and then you guys are going to follow it. And then let's put you two like, I don't know, maybe like so. And one of you forward. We'll wait for you two to get where you're supposed to go. And let's also launch Canoptech Probe out here. It looks like the enemy did not bring a AZA'GOROD of their own, although it would have been funny if it did. But just by virtue of how many ships we can see on the field, it's unlikely that they brought anything that expensive. Alright, you guys can move now. Enemy fighters are coming in, but now they are no longer able to see us. Beautiful. All right, let's speed it up while the enemy does approach, and I am going to set you... Ooh, I wanted to just check this. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work from what I remember of the Necron campaign, but let's see. You fire at reload time, 25 seconds. Switch you to reload. You are still 25 seconds. Okay, yeah, so this thing wants to be in either reactive hull or dispersion. And there we go. So this is what I was talking about with the issue of having a very high alpha single weapon, because when you're applying 2,000 damage on enemy escorts that only have 1,000 HP, there's a lot of overkill, and this thing does not recharge very quickly at all, especially since you can't reload with it, so definitely something you need to consider. Alrighty, you guys move it up a little bit so if you can fire if you need to. In fact, all of you can switch to... Wait, stop. You can switch to dispersion. You can switch to dispersion. You will switch to dispersion as the enemy gets closer. And oh, they identified you. And let's identify them and then move away, maybe. Now that we can see them. And I also want to set you guys up to forward facing and cancel your order and auto-engage. There you go. Do your own thing. Secoms, yeah, you have your lightning arc artillery, so you're all gonna get some use out of that, and just keep sniping. Ooh, let's make #1 target right here. Don't waste your shots on that. Hey, we're gonna get some lightning arcs out of that. Oh, you wasted your shot. This thing sort of moved into its identification range. Oh well. Lightning Arc should be able to take care of the little jackal while you keep sniping the enemy ships apart. And hello, there's an admiral over there. Let's make you a #1 target if we can find you. Otherwise, not a lot of enemy fighters coming in yet, so I'm fairly confident with that. Let's make you the #1 target. Target your engines as well. Okay, so that hit, and with the armor, it looks like it does about 1,000 damage. The crits are definitely in there, though. And come on, get closer. Feel free. Remove... Actually, The enemy aren't really close enough to propagate our lightning arcs yet, although they're starting to get there. You know, I'll switch to, let's switch to the propagation. Now they fire every 6 seconds, so we don't have the reload benefit. Ooh, and what we just saw, I just want to point this out, because this happens occasionally, but I can't really predict when exactly this happens, so just something I want to point out. The Void Beam just fired, and it hit this ship out front, but it also hit several other ships with some of its, well, pieces, I guess. Or its, I don't know, individual turrets. There are a lot of void beams in that they can technically hit several ships at once, but generally speaking, they only apply to the one. Anyway, ship, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, see, look at all that, look at all those lightning arcs. Fortunately, the enemy seem to be wanting to deal with our smaller ships for some bizarre reason, which I'm perfectly fine with. I did say that. Oh, you really wasted a 25-second reload shot on a ship that was already dead? Gotta be kidding me. Oh, and you were auto-targeting the Admiral here, too. Oh, well. Oh, well, let's keep scanning them up because I got the scan upgrade. Gotta increase that critical chance. Target your engines as well. You should be destroyed there. And hopefully we don't get a debris piece in the way. Alright, fire that gun. Do it. There you go. Looks incredibly cool when it fires, since every single one of the claws there light up. Otherwise, how are we doing in terms of damage? Enemy ships are just about done for. Yeah, look at those crits. Love it. I was about to say scan you guys up again, but I think we're out of scans. Oh well, go take out that Admiral with another shot of your big gun. As a battle cruiser, there you go. Very, very nice. Yeah, we're not really suffering enough damage to care about this. In fact, I think you want to switch to reload now since you're not really propagating. And you don't really need the repairs either. I don't want to go forward just to get boarded either. Although, wait, we just fired. Here's what we could do. Wait a second. I got an idea here. Fire your gun. Come on now. There you go. Alright, did you just ram yourself to death? Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll now face this way. Fire at this thing to destroy it, especially since we're hidden while these guys are away here. #1 target, destroy that engine. Try to move towards it. We can still jump forward as well. Ooh, you. Recover? No, wait, you know what? You recover. Right here. Identify this, crit it out. That probably critted something. Yeah, its engine's gone, its deck is gone, and we are in we're in a pretty good place ourselves. You're about to die. Let's scan and then let's run. Switch to running silent. See if you can't escape. Switch to running silent as well, little buddy. I'd like to keep you protected. And then if we can get one more shot with those big guns, not even really using our Star Pulse waves to apply damage. I was saving it for enemy fighters, but it's clearly not really needed right now. Come on, come on, come on, get in range. It is a 90-degree firing angle. Oh, come on. There you go. Zarek's Resurrection. Actually, pretty cool name as well. Would have been a better name on the Throne of the Silent King, though. Zarek's Resurrection, right? Alrighty, so here's what I want to do. You now move forward. Let's get the enemy ship. And you know what? Let's move forward, I guess. We don't really need to be in the gas cloud anymore. And oh, they're identifying us. Wait, is this their probe? Huh, neat. Almost never see the AI use probes. And come on, it does take forever to turn, though, I gotta point out. Even if it does move reasonably fast for its size. You, go back here. Alright, you guys, move in, and board this guy. And I guess both of you can switch to reload. The propagation isn't really gonna benefit us that much. So what I wanna do is this, forward here. And inertialist drive. There you go. Or not inertialist drive, inertialist maneuver, or rather. Yeah, the inertialist maneuver does benefit this thing because it can reposition like that. And it does definitely need to reposition periodically to fire its big gun. Alrighty, now I don't think we need to fire that gun at you again because the Admiral is dead. Now let's take care of the last ship and this battle will be over. And then we'll fight some other enemies. Come on, slowly reposition. I guess we could just do that. It'll be faster, there we go. Yeah, just by virtue of how slow it turns, that does make this beneficial. Would we have had a better time with an enemy, with, not Star Pulse Wave, with a Stasis Bomb? Maybe. Hard to say. Blade ones certainly like feasting. And here we go. Gonna get that spur in there. You have to wait for the Drukhari ship that it's made out of to hit the enemy. But at least with the spur, fairly decent amounts of damage. One more hit from that void beam is probably not even gonna be necessary because the battle's over. Oh, and is it gonna explode right in there? Oh no, it looks like that's the animation from the ram, not the enemy ship exploding. Still looks pretty cool. Although now it looks like our ship is the one that is exploding, but not its generators going critical, as we see with the Necron ships explode. Anyway, let's get a couple more battles in. Now, I think contrary to some different types of ships, we might have a difficult time against the Tau or the or Chaos or possibly Admech if they can once again bring a lot of those Omega artilleries or scary things. Tau Merchant Fleet in particular does have a lot of those missiles, which would be a lot more dangerous if they could identify us, but as soon as they do, that's when the danger comes in. In fact, if we are identified, I feel that they could wreck our faces before we really even are able to fire on them. So let's fight with the Tau Merchant Fleet and then we'll do one or two more. And depending on how we are for time. See if we can do this quickly. On the other hand, because the Tau Merchant Fleet is not very dangerous in terms of its troops, oh, this is one thing I did forget to point out, this thing does only have 30, I believe, troops aborted, so unlike the 70 of the Throne of the Silent King, oh, it's 40, okay. It's still in a lot more danger from getting boarded as well. Yeah, you know what? Let's go right into the danger, I think. Here's what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna run silent. We're gonna move forward. And ready, up and go. They're gonna launch missiles. We can hop from cloud to cloud though. I still think we'll hop from cloud to cloud though, just to prevent enemy fighters from killing us. I mean, there's no need to play in such a way where we're just hurting ourselves, because that would be silly. Like so, you're gonna be hidden for a few seconds. Those fighters are gonna move back. Let's identify those enemies. And oh, I wonder where those missiles are gonna go. They're just gonna go sideways. Lovely. Alright, now we are detected once more. Let's keep moving. And what do we have here? What do we have here? Couldn't quite see. It's not a Star Spear, is it? I'm excited. It'll be something fun. Move forward, move forward. I will send out a Canoptech probe. They will outrange us with all their fancy, fighters and stuff. But with the two Sechems, in fact, Sechems, I think I want you to move near the AZA'GOROD now. AZA'GOROD, let's start you off on reload, I think. For the lightning arcs, obviously, because it doesn't work on the void beams. But then we'll switch to dispersion as we get closer. All right. Oh, what the hell? A one-shot kill. Oh, damn. Somebody has a lot of damage output. That's 750 damage in a single shot, but that also means that it is something that the enemy cannot... Oh, you just got wrecked, insta-killed as well. Oh, lovely. Alrighty, well, you know what? I think for once, this is one of those fleets where we're better off fighting close combat. Let's move. You two. Follow along. You. Move, move, move. And it is indeed a Star Spear. Fun stuff. You. Want a Star Pulse Wave? Wait. You guys are gonna switch to Dispersion. Get ready to Star Pulse Wave now. Alright, you get rid of that Star Spear. Oh, and you're dead as well. Oh, damn. That was one shot as well, 1500? Okay, that is some scary Tau pew pew, I gotta say. Let's move forward, switch to Dispersion, and go. Kill those Mantas. Reposition. Would have been better to jump behind it, but not much we can do about that. Here come the missiles. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, very, very dangerous. I did say that the Tau fleet would be dangerous, especially with our small ships. Oh, is that that's a bigger ship as well, isn't it? Hello, what do we have out here? Destroy those missiles and such. Alright, move alongside it. You do have a spur. We can't really... Ooh, yeah, we are taking tons of damage here. Look at that, we're at 2,600 HP. Yeah, we're in a bad situation here, aren't we? It just goes to show. Alright, now what do you have? You are... Okay, you do not... Oh, you have your railgun artillery and stuff. We can't... If we get hit again by this thing, we'll die. Don't let that Star Spear hit you again, buddy. You know what? Reposition, fire your big gun. Fire. Why isn't your big gun glowing? Switch to hull cauterization, or reactive hull rather. Come on, fire. There we go, it's mutinying, it needs to die. Are those Manta Bombers? Yes, they are. Oh, Manta Bombers, I don't like the sound of that. You move here. Away from the bombers. We can't do anything because our supporting craft are dead. We don't have a Star Pulse wave for another few seconds. We can reposition in 7 seconds. Try to get that hull point moving back up. Ooh, man, this turned out to be a very tough battle, and this is why I've been saying you really do want this ship to... you really don't want it to be in close combat. How much damage will these guys do? Ooh, 400 HP left. Very, very, very close. What a close battle. I'm glad we fought this like this. I could have tried, like, obviously it would have been more beneficial to sort of stay in here until the enemy fleet approached, but I did want to show off how dangerous it would be against the Tau, as I was saying that they were dangerous. Certainly that was a very risky proposition. And turn towards it, please. There you go. There you go. Don't get killed, please. We could go back into a cloud and heal up a lot of this, granted, but I think they don't have enough firepower left on the ships that they have remaining to do anything to us, so we don't care. And that ship should be dead, and then there was one. It is another little light cruiser. Okay. Turn. In fact, wait, jump. Jumping will reposition you as well, and there we go. Nearly dead light cruiser, 95 HP, and about to be 0. Well done, AZA'GOROD, although it was a close one. Alrighty, now let's face the toughest opponents that this thing probably has, which is going to be the Tyranids. Oh, it has some of those invisible spaces as well. A little invisible blocks there. Interesting. Let's see. And yeah, I think that was a bug that was introduced in the previous version because of one of the other ships. I think it was an issue with the Tau ship. Let's see. I'll launch once. Oh, and the Tyranids are there. Alrighty, it made a little cut there. I launched the battle against the Tyranids, and you know what happened? 2 Pyroclastic Titans, which is obviously stupid for us to spotlight or to fight in a spotlight battle, because Pyroclastic Titans can't light Necrons on fire because the Necrons have no atmosphere on board their ships, making that battle completely a waste of time. Let's try it again, hopefully that they don't have Pyroclastic Titans this time. I'm hoping for a swarm instead. Let's see. Annoying, but what can you do? Come on, don't Pyroclastic it up. Please don't make me make another cut. Nice shot, though. Alrighty, here we go, and, well, against the Tyranids, we are obviously going to be making use of the gas clouds and stuff, so let's set up properly. You guys are all going to go into reload. You guys are going to go into reload as well. Get ready to scan, and we will probably have to kite. You are going to move up ahead and run silent. Let's get to it. What do we have? A behemoth, perfect. Okay, and I'm saying perfect because a behemoth is probably the most dangerous ship that we can face. We do not have a lot of HP. I'm willing to bet it can take us down to about half HP in a single leap or rush. So definitely got to watch out for this thing. All right, let's send out our Canoptech probe. You're going to move up so that you can scan up those enemies. We're going to make our #1 target the behemoth, and you're all going to switch to auto engage and then cancel order. And we're going to play the waiting game. And we're gonna speed it up while playing said waiting game. Alright. Let's find us some neds. There we go. Oh, we're gonna waste a lot of shots on these little guys, aren't we? Let's scan you up and then let's move away. In fact, if we could kill the rest of their fleet while they are, while the behemoth is still too far away to help them, that would be real nice. I will admit. Now we can see the rest of their fleet. Yeah, we really have to be careful about getting rammed by this thing. It doesn't have a lot of HP, it's got 6,700, so I'm willing to bet 4 or 5 shots would be able to take it out. Keeping in mind that it does have a lot of armor, but we do take down armor to 25% every time, or 25 rather, every time we fire this thing. Alrighty, so the enemy fleet is moving up. We'll just have to figure out when we want to kite, essentially. Kill this thing then. Kill the clutches. I'm much more scared of enemy ships ramming us than anything else. Alright, are you all... Oh, they're going after this ship. I was wondering what the hell they were doing. Yeah, that's fine. Reload. You guys, get ready to scan the enemies as they move closer. You, I think it's time to switch to dispersion, or it will be as soon as they start going for our ships here. Everybody, switch dispersion now. There we go. And you hit this. Maybe try to hit the enemy admiral there. There we go. Dispersion has begun, and it was tremendously necessary. Identify them all. Let's increase the amount of crits. Maybe we can crit out some brains. The swarm should be relatively easy to kill with the amount of lightning arc turrets that I was talking about that this thing has before. So I'm not really concerned about the swarm. This thing I am very concerned about pretty much always. In the campaigns, I've been talking about how I basically fear this ship a lot more than pretty much any other ship on the Tyranid roster, so. Huh. Now this thing is a visual display bug. You're not supposed to normally see those, I think. Or did I press something? Oh, it doesn't matter. Alright, are you gonna ram us, buddy? I'm gonna jump right behind this thing as soon as it tries to ram you. We want to use a Star Pulse Wave, why not? Just increase a little bit of extra damage. You're in dispersion, but you're gonna switch to something else soon, probably. This thing's kind of freaking me out. It's moving near us, but it's not... What are you doing? Why are you being so suspicious, Behemoth? I've been saving our Star Pulse generator, or not our Star Pulse generator, our inertials drive this entire time. Okay, well, you're gonna ram us, but you're a tiny little ship and we don't really care about you. Switch now. Okay, wait, two things. Skill, and then... let us do 2 things. You're gonna move here. Alright, fine. If this thing's not gonna jump... Oh, it was waiting for us to jump. But it's gonna sail right by with the inertialist maneuver. Oh, but it's gonna double up, but it's gonna screw it up again. Okay, so I guess this was the AI just trying to bait us into using it. Cool, but I guess ineffective in this particular situation. We're gonna switch, well, stay with dispersion, I think. We still need the, there's still enough enemy ships out here to make some use of that. Let's keep enemies identified as well. I'm not really doing anything with the seconds. Could have been transferring troops over this entire time, but I'm mostly concerned about killing this behemoth before it kills us. Or before it rams us at the very least. Keep doing your thing. If it jumps again, well, we won't be able to do anything about that. Come on, come fire. And yeah, there's still a lot of enemy ships here. You, try to interfere with the other ships here, I think. Oh, there's an enemy admiral out there. We should probably #1 target that as soon as we're out here. Alright, another ship has died. Fire on the behemoth if you can, buddy. I wonder if we can jump far enough away. Well, we got 6 seconds until we got it. I'd kind of like to jump far enough away so that it can't get in range to ram us and then just kill it from a distance. And, oh, no, jump now, jump now. Ah, don't do that. Alrighty, and then a reposition. Try to target it. Come on, kill it from a distance, please. We should be safe, I think. And I think we need to start recovering with the reactive. Well, still a little bit of use out of this, but, reactive hull now. Alright, come on. Oh, if that debris interferes with us, that will be unfortunate. Alright, come on. Kill the behemoth before it kills you, buddy. Obviously, since we're immune to crits, we don't really care about our weaponry. And the troop stuff doesn't matter. Okay, you're still alive, but just barely. You can be target #2. So close. Let's Star Pulse Wave. Just to increase a little damage. And you, can you scan these guys up to increase the damage? Come on, kill it before it rams you. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's got 70 HP left. A couple more shots. They'll do it. There we go. Ooh. A dangerous enemy. Alrighty, and I think with that, this battle is in our favor. Not really, not really caring about the smaller ships. Down goes the admiral. Switch directions, and you're dead. You're gonna burn, you're gonna rout, and who? Certainly managed to pull that out. Alrighty, well, I think that's it for this spotlight. There are a couple of other factions we could have fought, but I don't imagine that they would have been too different from fighting the Tyranids in general, i.e. like the Space Marines and stuff. It would have been a sort of similar situation where we probably would have tried to maintain distance even more, i.e. Snipe the enemy and keep running so as to not get too much... too many boarding torps and too many Thunderhawks aboard and stuff like that. But I think this particular episode has gone on long enough, and we'll probably have more tests of this thing in skirmish just for fun, like various like bringing 4 of these in a single fleet, for example, or something like that might be fun. So check that out if you're interested. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment for a friendly neighborhood heretic. Stay tuned for the next Necron ship, which I want to say is the Osiris, which is the carrier fleet, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, so that'll be fun as well, and thanks for watching.